folks, David here on the Vintage Future once again, and I just want to do this review on, it's not really a view, it's like a highlight on this item that I've been meaning to highlight for a really long time because it's one of the most special items that I have. And what that is the backpack that my friend Dale, Aero Surfer LV, made for me. I love this thing. I've been using it every day for, sheesh, man, I think it's been like definitely over a year. Might have been 2 years already. Man, time flies. So yeah, it shows how late I am to the video. But it's the first backpack he ever made. He's in leatherworking now, so just highlighting his channel, Aero Surfer LV. Look him up on YouTube. Look him up on Instagram. Dale, chances are, if you know about me, you probably already knew about him because he's been doing this way longer than me. We're friends. We've connected over the last several years. It's been great. We talk a lot. And he's an amazing guy. He's really, really kind in the most genuine of ways. Not everyone is, right? Sometimes they're kind, and then later on you're like, oh, you're trying to get something from me. Interesting, right? So he's genuinely kind and happy. Great. He was the first person in this whole community to really accept me and draw me in, right? I wouldn't say anybody was mean or anything like that. Nobody was gatekeepy. It's a great community, the Amakaji heritage scene. But he was the first to really jump off the couch to welcome me. Oh, hey man, welcome into the living room. Sit down over here. Would you like a drink? You know, that kind of thing. Before I had a channel even. And then when I started the channel, he's like, dude, this is so cool. You should keep doing it. Right on, you know? And answered all my questions. Totally wasn't gatekeepy at all. Wasn't like, oh, I don't want someone else to start a channel because, you know, they might compete with me or whatever. He was just giving advice and answering questions, and we were nerding out on things together. So really, really great guy. But he doesn't just do the channel. He also has Dale's Leather Works, which he calls it, and he makes leather items. Usually it's bags and backpacks and stuff like that, like this one that he gave me. What a gift. Oh my goodness. But he also experiments with other things. So you can contact him. You can DM him on Instagram. Maybe he will have enough bandwidth in his schedule to fill an order for you. I would say, yeah, the stuff from him or anyone like him is going to be a little expensive, you know, because he's making it by hand. The stitches in my backpack, the stitches in something he makes you, generally speaking, are done by hand. Every single stitch, every single rivet is his hands. It's a needle and thread. It's not a machine. And the leather is cut by his own two hands with a knife. And he's clicking it himself. It's not a machine. It's not some laser contraption or whatever. So yeah, it's going to be a bit expensive, but it's going to be worth it. One, for the quality and the service, but also just owning something that is like that. Like who owns something like that? Everything now is, not everything. Most things now are made by a machine or whatever, you know? So that's really cool. Anyways, so what is the backpack? What are the features, and what do I like about it? Well, first of all, like I said a moment ago, it's worthy of note that this was the first one he ever made, and it is held together really well. There is not a single thing on it that is coming undone. No stitches coming out, no threads, no seams separating, no failed rivets, no torn leather, especially with the handle and stuff like that. With the handle on the top, I was like, man, it seems a little thin. Is it going to break? And nothing, no problems. I think he over-engineered it, honestly, which is why it's doing that. But that's great, right? You get fantastic value and durability. So that's worthy of note. It is held together well, so he did a great job. Also, everything's straight and symmetrical. Once again, he did a great job. There's nothing about my backpack. Okay, and remember, this is the first one. He had never done this before. So the fact that everything came out straight and symmetrical, and the backpack is actually a good-looking, functional backpack that I love and I use every day, and that many people comment on. They're like, "Whoa, cool backpack! Where'd you get that? That's killer!" You know, that says something. But the basic features are, you've got this handle on the top. It's a strap of leather held on by rivets. And then you've got this sort of like metal O-ring backpack harness system thing. And it's adjustable on the bottom of the straps via some buckles. That all works really well. It's very ergonomic. I'm not really sure how he designed it. You know, I know he's got some pre-existing backpacks that he had that he was getting inspired from, but he didn't have like a template he was going off of. So for all I know, he must have like tried it out on himself or something and made this all work. But like, it's super ergonomic. There's nothing uncomfortable about it. Sometimes leather backpacks are uncomfortable because the straps aren't sewn on in like a fashion that makes sense for the human body. So it sits on your body weird, or like the edges of the hard leather like cutting into your shoulder or something like that. None of that. Very comfortable. And it sits right where I want it to. And if I want it to sit lower, I could just adjust the straps and stuff. It's not like sloppy or anything like that. Yeah, the stitching is all done with the backpack inside out, and then he inverts it so that it's right side out, which means all the major seams are facing inward so that the outside has this clean finished look, and he did a great job with that. There's this massive scar on the side, which I'm so happy he included that, because that's one of the beauties of this particular leather. But it was weak, so he reinforced it from the inside with this big patch. I think that was a great move, and it really helped a lot. The buckles are all holding up super well. I can't remember where he got them. The buckle guy? I don't know. But they're really nice. They don't just work. They're beautiful. I love the rounded, curved nature of them. That's a really nice touch. There's the big front pocket. And then the whole bottom of this is a single piece of leather. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that part of it. I guess one thing might be like if you sat this down in a puddle of water, water would get in, but you shouldn't do that anyways. It's a roll top backpack. The straps on it work really well, but I'm so lazy now that unless I'm like on a trip on an airplane or something, I don't actually roll it up. I just leave it unstrapped at all times so that I can easily get things in and out of the backpack. So the leather is Olivet Bison. It's Olivet Bison. And I can't remember the tannery. I really should have double checked before I shot this film. I think it's from Tasman. I think it's Tasman Olivet Bison. So it's bison skin, bison hide. And the color is Olivet. I don't know why it's called Olivet, because it looks nothing like olive. It looks like rust. It's like a rusty color. And it's one of those leathers you don't buy for how it's going to patinate, because it's kind of already gnarly and worn looking. So not that it won't look different in 20 years, which I'm totally confident this backpack will last that long. It will look a bit different, but it's not going to be this patina monster. You're not going to see an extreme change of any kind. So you might want to get a different kind of leather if you really want to have that whole journey where it like starts out new and ages for you. This is more or less ageless. Like I've had it for, yeah, like I said, I think like 2 years, if not just a little bit less than that. And yeah, it hasn't really changed much at all. So that's one thing you can consider changing if you don't like that. The roll top, and I've given him all this feedback long ago, and he's implemented a lot of it as needed, like if it makes sense. But the roll top was a little long for me, because you look down in the backpack with it this long, and it's like you're staring into this dark abyss. You can't even see what's down in the backpack. So it's a little long. I have to reach my whole arm in there to get something out of the bottom, but nothing that couldn't be fixed. Honestly, we talked about like, should we just cut it shorter? But I was like, whatever, it's totally fine. So there's that. Also, the front pocket is great, but for my usage, it probably would be better to have multiple flap pockets and even some smaller pockets, which a lot of his newer backpacks have just that. because this one, it's like you can put stuff in it, but things can fall out. If you have a lot of small little items, you know, they're just kind of all in there like blah, like a junk drawer. So what I've done is I took some little tiny cloth Viberg bags that I have, and that's what I put my little things in, and then put those in that pocket, and that serves just fine. This is not the kind of backpack you really want to put a lot of books and stuff in. For that, you want a backpack with compartments, because with any backpack that has just one huge compartment, your books are going to be like flapping open, you know, when they're in there, and the pages are going to get crushed and stuff like that. So anything that doesn't have a structure to it is not going to fare well in the backpack. But as far as clothes, my laptop, you know, hardcover books and stuff, as opposed to softcover books and whatnot, it's been a really great backpack. Another thing is, I think it's nice because the bottom is a bit flat, and so you can't like stand it up independently on its own, but if you just lean it against something, it stands up pretty well. It's not one of those annoying backpacks that constantly is like rolling over, tipping over, because it doesn't really have a flat bottom of some kind, you know. Everything that he stitches, he does reinforce with rivets. At least on mine he did. So that's kind of cool. And that's probably why it didn't come apart. But yeah, this is a great backpack. It's a hardy backpack. I've taken it through the city, my job, and all that stuff, and then I've taken it on hikes and stuff. It is a fantastic backpack. I'm really happy I got it. I think you should check out Dale's Leatherworks and his Instagram and his YouTube. And this is one of those items that is extra special because of who gave it to me and where it came from. I think this is really where it's at in life. It could be all about nice items for you, right? It could be all about always getting the best or whatever. But really, life is better lived, I think, when it's about the connections you have with people, and the connections with people that certain items that you have represent, you know? So I'd much rather have an inferior product that came from like a family friend or something like that than have the absolute best and it be kind of like this heartless purchase. Or heck, you could have both. No, yeah, so I'm not like saying it has to be this false dichotomy, but if you had to choose one, you know, this would be the way. So is this backpack perfect? No, like I could probably think of ways that it is not going to be functional for certain things in my life. I could think of ways, I could think of reasons to have another backpack or two other backpacks for different purposes or whatever. But because I got this from him and it's just so special, I just use it every day for everything. Like even for the things that it doesn't work great for, I just force it to work. And it goes everywhere with me. It goes on all my plane flights. It goes all over the world. It goes on all the trips, anniversary trips, birthday trips, family trips. It's my backpack. I don't have another one. I don't have like a messenger bag. I don't have anything else. This is what I use now. I've now sold or given away all the ones that I had before, and this is the only thing I use, and it keeps me happy. And so like I couldn't be more thankful. I couldn't be more grateful. And it's running strong. So thank you, Dale. Blessings on you, brother. And let your things take you places more important than the things themselves, folks. We will catch you on the next one.